the first time you see or play against these players or teams. But having gone through it and seen it, now he knows what to expect, and now he anticipates things even more quickly.
With so many off days sprinkled in the latter half of the season, how does it change how you guys have to practice in order to keep the team in rhythm?
I mean, it gives us more of an opportunity to practice. It gives us more of an opportunity to work on small things and hone in on whatever our focuses are. The games still come quick enough where you're not going to fall off, a large amount. As long as you still get the touch, you still get the rhythm. And then again, you got guys that are going to play heavy minutes.
How did you think, with the two-game series just in the past, now another one coming up, what did you think the team learned from the two games in Miami and Charlotte?
Again, I think it's the preparation, being able to see your opponent, make adjustments, and then see your opponent again and understand, what the mindset of your opponent is and the adjustments that they're going to make, and then how quickly you can solve those on the fly, which, again, I think is great practice for us.
J.B., what's a general theme with 9 to play? You're talking about your team here with these games with so much at stake here down the stretch.
We got to take care of business, and that's our focus where, we can't start looking too far ahead because there's so much on the line each moment. So just trying to stay in the moment. Every game, right, comes with its own lessons, and just trying to approach it that way. Everything is a business-like approach, but honing in on, first quarters, how we start, and then continue from there.
What are you expecting out of this Brooklyn team? Not only a team that looks wildly different than the one you played the day after Christmas, but also one that's desperate to hang on for the 6th spot in the East.
Well, I mean they've I think they've lost their last 3, if I'm not mistaken. But they're a capable bunch, and they have individual competitors. They have very versatile guys. Like Bridges has taken a big step on the offensive end of the floor. We know Spencer Dinwiddie and what he's capable of. So we expect them to come out like their back is against the wall. So we have to be prepared for that.
One of the things you've mentioned throughout the years that you want the team playing its best near the end of the season. Do you feel like you guys are at that point?
Yeah, I think we're working towards it. I think we have a clear understanding of who we are and what we need to do to be effective. It's a matter of putting it together for long stretches, and I think we've done that.
Considering the amount of space that are in offenses now, what's the key to actually getting guys to play in crowds, the opponent that is, especially because you just mentioned the defense being as good as it's been all year. What's the key to actually getting them kind of compacted a little bit?
It's a matter of where our defense starts. Teams are going to play, 4 out, a lot of times 5 out, and they want to bring you and pull you towards their gravity. But I think for us, it's making sure that we maintain the gravity that's in the paint. And, our guys are athletic enough, fast enough, quick enough, where if they're in a spot early, they can still recover and get to a three-point shooter. What happens is, teams get you so spread out, and then you're trying to run in and then run back out, and you're not good enough or quick enough to do that with the spacing that teams play. So to start possessions, making sure that we're near the basket and in the paint, and then working from there.
Well, you talked about how you feel like you have a relatively set 7-8, basically. 8 and 9 can kind of float. At this point in the season, with so few games left, are you focused on only playing guys that you feel like you can go to in a postseason series?
No. We're playing, one, to help ramp guys' minutes up with the expectation that in playoffs, guys' minutes are going to ramp up, so just so they're prepared for that. But understanding, too, that no matter what happens, and it always happens, at some point in time, anybody's number can be called. You hope that you're healthy going through all this, but it's the NBA, the realizations of that happening. So we're trying to make sure that everybody is going to be prepared if their number is called on.
It seems like a simple fix, but a few times this year there's been some inbound miscommunication and some turnovers in those areas. What are you looking for on those types of plays, especially in late game situations and in fourth quarters?
Making sure you get it in, obviously, but there's so many small things, and understanding, what you're allowed to get away with in those moments. Defenses typically get to grab and hold a little bit more. Offenses can be a little more physical to use, using screens and to get open. So I think those are the things that we got to continue to show our guys and help them with so they can create separation and get the ball.
Following up on my Evan question, how much better do you think he is in year 2 as opposed to his rookie year?
It's hard to I mean, I think he is much better. It's hard to say and put a number on it or quantify it, but I think he is a much better basketball player now than he was even in October or December. I just think that what people get hung up on, a lot of times are the numbers of it. But like you can watch it, and if you've got a feel for the game, like you see where he can impact the game in the way that he does. And now, for the naked eye, he's throwing numbers on it to go along with it. So, we've been watching it and noticing it, but I think now people see numbers, and it makes it easier for them to see.
In past years, when you've been on playoff teams, has there been any way for you as a coach to forecast how a guy is going to perform in a playoff series for the first time?
I mean, you typically know the makeup of the guy and how they handle pressure situations, even if it's not a playoff, right? Even if it's a fourth quarter, it's a tight game, it's a big game, a small thing is a TV game. Like, you see how guys perform in those moments, and, typically that carries over. You can't put the pressure of a playoff game on any other situation or circumstance to know, but typically you can have a good feel for it from that.
What is it with Karras this year that has allowed him to be a more effective catch and shoot three-point shooter than he's really ever been in his career?
I think he understood, once the trade was made, like where he was going to fit in, and he put the time into working on it. He's used to, being the guy that has to create his own shot. But I think he did a great job of, again, fitting into where the team need is. And when you have the Donovans and Darius of the world with the ball in their hand, a lot was going to come to him on catch and shoot opportunities. So I think he just prepared himself for that.
What do you just attribute his February is like 23% to what he's doing in March? It's like about 40% of those shots.
I think he's just stuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's gotten comfortable understanding, where his shots are going to come from. I think his teammates have done a good job of getting him the ball when he's ready for it. But again, he works tirelessly. Like, he's in the gym all the time working on it. So it was just a matter of time.
What did you miss most about Allen when he was out?
We miss his spirit. He's a guy who leads in a different way, but he leads nonetheless, and guys love to follow him. The effort that he plays with on the floor is contagious, and guys follow that. And then obviously, the basketball piece, defensively, what he does to protect the rim, how he helps us rebound, how he helps anchor our defense.
He won't have any minute restrictions.
Well, we always kind of see how it goes. It's been 4 games since he's played, so we'll just keep an eye on it.